My promise to you is that every single day between now and November, we're going to take the fight directly to Tammy Baldwin. We're going to do that because her vision for the future of this country doesn't fit the future that the people of Wisconsin have. We want a future that's prosperous. We want to see this country grow. We want to see it secure. You want future generations of the people of Wisconsin to be safe. That's not Tammy Baldwin's vision. She spends too much money, she doesn't invest in our security, and she doesn't think about the future. So while we wish her the best personally, she shouldn't be our senator. So our fight every single day between now and November is to go to every corner of this state, meet with everybody, and tell them that our vision, our conservative values, and our principles are those that are going to create more opportunity for them and create a safer and more secure future. That's my job to take that message, and I promise you that I will. You already know that Washington is broken. It's built on a system built by insiders for insiders. Now, you all know I'm an outsider. There's no doubt about that. I'm a Marine, a businessman, a husband, and a father. Those are the core experiences that shaped me into who I am today. None of that has anything to do with being a professional politician. I'm not, and I don't make any excuses for that. But there's no way in heck that somebody from the political class is ever going to fix the problems created by the political class. That's why it's going to take outsiders, like President Trump, like Ron Johnson, frankly, to go to Washington and to do things differently. To understand, you just simply have to produce results. Look, we're at a point in our country's history where we have spent way too much money, and we haven't taken the threats abroad seriously. So we need serious people to go to Washington to do things differently and to take on the problems that we all face. And look, my whole life, whether it's been as a Marine, a businessman, a husband, or a father, has been about providing solutions to problems. And I know darn well, those that don't provide solutions to problems, they should get the heck out of leadership. And I'm going to Washington to provide those solutions, not to be a career politician. So folks, I used to be a Democrat. I had to go out and live life to figure out the fact that the policies and the principles that are supported by the left don't actually work. They don't make people more successful. I had to live life the way I did and walk the road that I did to become the conservative that I am today. And that means going out and running a newspaper for a while. That means going out and working as a cowboy, becoming a Marine, fighting in 2 wars, becoming a husband, a father, and then working in business. And what it teaches you is that you have to deal with problems as they are. I learned the value of human life, innocent, protecting those of us that are born and unborn, and charting a future which actually provides opportunity for all of us. That means don't spend too much money. That means plan for the future. That means take threats seriously and strategically invest in our defense in order to keep people safe and to prevent wars before they start. Boy, Tammy Baldwin likes to talk about funding a $10 billion a year Department of Peace. Doesn't make any sense to me. And it doesn't make any sense to me because it doesn't actually make you and your families more secure and prosperous. The Department of Defense, the U.S. Department of Defense, has done more to secure a future of prosperity and peace for people around the world than any other institution man-made in all of history. I'm a proponent of the Second Amendment because I believe that each of you has the intrinsic right to protect your life and liberty. That's the way it is. No government gets to take that away from you. It's yours, inherent to you. Now, we trust our officers of the peace to protect the peace in any which way, shape, or form that they can, but they can't always be there to protect your life and liberty. So you keep that right because the founders of our country understood that you only get one go-round on this earth, and you should always have the opportunity to protect your own life and liberty when you face any kind of danger. I'm pro-life because I've seen what happens when people don't value innocent life. Whether in combat or here in the United States, those of us that are in a position to do so must protect innocent life. That means doing everything that we can to safeguard them and to give them an opportunity to grow up and be prosperous. That's our obligation. I believe that our Constitution is inherently pro-life, and it is. What the Constitution basically says is that your rights are yours, given to you by God. Whether born or unborn, that is true. And when the Constitution laid that out and made that perfectly clear, what it did was empower each of us to go out, take risks, and stretch ourselves and work hard. That's what created all this prosperity in the first place. The fact that our Constitution is inherently pro-life is what created all the wealth that we're arguing about in this country in the first place. We need to actually go out to every corner of our state and make that case to people, that their life matters, that innocent life matters, that we need to do everything we can to safeguard life and then move forward and create a society that values all life.
Yes. Big applause, big applause.
Tammy Baldwin's out there running a lot of ads about veterans issues, and she's doing it because she hasn't been there for our veterans when she had to be. Talking about TOMA, when whistleblowers came directly to her and asked for her help, when veterans saw their lives threatened by, frankly, medical malpractice in government-run healthcare. Tammy Baldwin and her staff turned a blind eye to what was happening at TOMA because Tammy Baldwin didn't take it seriously. Now, Tammy Baldwin is a big fan of government-run healthcare. She wants to get between you and your doctor just like she got between veterans and the kind of healthcare that they needed at the TOMA VA. My case to the people of Wisconsin is yes, what Tammy Baldwin did at TOMA was reprehensible, and we're going to hold her to account for it, no doubt about it. But let's take it a step further and realize there's no way in heck that Tammy Baldwin should be in charge of the healthcare that you or your family are using. So this affects not just our state's veterans, and boy, it does. It affects every single family in the state of Wisconsin. What we need in healthcare, we need more choices for the people of Wisconsin. We need more price transparency, and you all need to be able to better control your healthcare spending through healthcare savings accounts. That takes the power and gives it to you, the people of the state of Wisconsin, to go out and actually get the healthcare you need, and over the long term, it's going to help to control healthcare spending. But in the meantime, if you want to understand what government-run healthcare looks like, go look at TOMA. And look what happens when senators like Tammy Baldwin fail our veterans when they needed her help most.
Yes.
Our state faces a drug abuse epidemic, opioids, methamphetamines, heroin. This is a real problem in towns, communities, and cities all throughout the state of Wisconsin. We need to think about why it's happening in the first place. Look, folks, there's a whole lot of people in our state that have chosen to drop out of the economy and are subsidizing a whole lot of bad choices with benefits in one way, shape, or form. We need to time-bound all benefits and tie everything for the able-bodied and able-minded amongst us to either work training or actual work. Let's get everybody immersed back into their communities in healthy relationships with those around them so they can start to build their life going forward. Tammy Baldwin has never met a government program that she doesn't like. Government programs are not going to solve our drug abuse epidemic. Getting people back involved in their communities, their churches, in with good employment, that's what's actually going to set people up for success over the long term and get them away from drug abuse. Again, we're conservatives. We want everyone to be successful. We want to create the opportunities and the pathways that people can run with. And we're going to do that through our policy. Now, I can't decide what choices everyone's going to make, but I'm going to do everything I can to incentivize people to do the best thing for them and their families and then give them the opportunity to be successful. Now, that's not Tammy Baldwin's vision for the future of this country, but it sure as heck is ours. When Tammy Baldwin thinks of national defense, she talks about a Department of the Peace and spending billions of dollars on a pipe dream. When I think of national defense, I think about strategically investing in our nation's future, about ensuring that we only deploy Americans to fights that make sense, and when we do it so they win and they win quickly. My bar for the deployment of Americans to conflict is this: a crystal clear mission that's incredibly achievable, overwhelming financial and human resources to win the fight fast, because fast fights save both American lives and the lives of local nationals. A realistic plan about who we're going to leave behind after the conflict is over, because folks, we're still in Germany and we're still in Japan, and we should be realistic about this. And then a real plan to take care of veterans and their families after they come home. Boy, that's simple stuff and it's common sense, but how many members of Congress do you think really do that before they deploy Americans abroad? Not Tammy Baldwin. So, enough talk of departments of the peace. Let's talk about what it really takes to secure the peace going forward, strategically invest in our defense, and be smart about where we send our sons and daughters to fight. Our Constitution is a fundamentally pro-life document. It recognizes the fact that your rights and your life was given to you by God, and no government gets to intrude on that. Not our government, not any government anywhere. And in so doing, that document launched a revolution and created a truly exceptional society, which says that your life matters. The lives of the unborn matter. And it's on us to safeguard those principles and ensure that our republic always values innocent life going forward. I will fight for that every single day in Washington to remind, those people in Washington, but also us here at home in Wisconsin, that innocent life matters and it's worth fighting for. The moment we stop respecting the value of innocent life, we're going to lose these values, and with it, we'll lose our republic. There's a whole lot of professional politicians out there criticizing President Trump for his taking on our problems with trade. But the reality is, let's think about what the president's doing. Those same professional politicians like Tammy Baldwin inked those bad trade deals many, many years ago and stuck us, the people of Wisconsin, with them. They wiped out entire industries in our state and companies. The reality is this: of course we should go back and renegotiate our trade deals and get sensible deals in place that allow for strategic and intelligent trade. Now, I'm all for trade. The people of Wisconsin are all for trade. We want to open up markets all across the world for Wisconsin products. We want to keep them open. But that means that those countries that we're trading with don't get to take unfair advantage of Wisconsin producers or consumers. So let's create a world without tariffs. But to do that, let's have the steel in our spine it takes to stand up to our trade partners and make sure that we hold them accountable. That's what the president's doing. That's what I'll be doing in Washington as well.
All right.
We need trade deals that work for the people of Wisconsin, not just the people of China. We need a virtuous cycle that works for the people all across this country and all over the world. That means a world without tariffs. The president is right to go back and push back on our trade partners and to renegotiate bad trade deals signed by professional politicians. Tammy Baldwin wants high tax rates slapped on you, the people of the state of Wisconsin. She fought the tax reform package, which actually lowered your rates and sent money back to the people of Wisconsin. The reality is this: higher tax rates don't produce more revenue for the federal government. Low, broadly applied and consistent tax rates create an environment where people can start businesses and economic activity booms. That's what actually flows more money into the federal government for the future. But more important than that, that's what gives you all, the people of the state of Wisconsin, the opportunity to be successful, and that's what I'm going to be fighting for every single day in Washington.